In this lesson, we'll discuss what a mental health ambassador really is. And we're going to start by doing the opposite and talk about what is it not. So let's get a few points out there. You don't have to be a mental health professional. In fact, I wouldn't really expect a mental health professional to take this course because you probably already know a lot about mental health if you work in the industry. So you really don't need that. You also don't need to be an expert. So if you're worried you will have to learn loads of stuff about mental health, that's not the case. What you need is a basic grounding of how to help people if they need immediate danger, or where to signpost them on if they need professional help. And we'll cover all of that in this course, and that's the basic knowledge that you need. You don't need to know the ins and outs of all the chemicals in the brain that cause different things. Thirdly, you're not there to provide treatment. This isn't a course that will teach you to be a counsellor or a therapist. That's much more in depth. As ambassadors, when we encounter people who need professional help, we pass them on to the professionals. So we don't need any kind of therapy skills. And in fact, it's important that we don't try and give them that, because if someone needs that, they're in a very vulnerable position. And so it's important that we hand them off to a professional. So now that we've got the disclaimer out of the way, let's look at the positives. What is being a mental health ambassador? Well, you're someone who wants to promote good mental health and go out there and really encourage everyone to increase their mental health. You're someone who should be willing to stand up and talk about it. So this doesn't have to be particularly personal things, but certainly you can't shy away from talking about mental health when it comes up in conversation. And hopefully you're already someone who wants to do that and maybe just doesn't have the confidence. Someone who is willing to be there when someone needs to talk. Some people just don't want to do that. They find it awkward, or they just don't really want to be spending their time doing that because they're not people. It doesn't matter if you're some kind of super people person with all those skills, but as long as you're the kind of person who is there for your friends when they need to talk and you're willing to extend that a bit, then you're in the right place. So it doesn't require expertise, but it does require courage, is a good way to sum that up. You do need to be willing to stand up and say, I want to make mental health better, and really encourage those around you to do that. And if you have that and you have a desire to help people, then you're in the right place. So what exactly does a mental health ambassador do? Well, you provide people with someone that they can talk to if they need it. So if someone is struggling and they do want to talk, then are you someone who is willing to listen? Knowing what sources of support are available and signposting people to them. So this is really important. So you don't need to know all the stuff that professionals know, but you do need to know where you can send people if they need that professional help. And we'll cover that in the course, but we'll also need to do a bit of research on your own time to find out what's available in your local area. Being a role model, again, we'll talk about this, but it's important that you do the stuff you're talking about. So if you want to tell people about mindfulness, are you doing mindfulness? If you want to talk about self-care and promoting good mental health, are you doing that yourself? Hopefully you are. If not, then this course is a good chance to get that in order and make sure that you're doing all these good behaviours. And finally, encouraging people to talk about mental health and taking a lead in promoting discussions. And this course will give you the confidence to be able to talk about these issues and really promote that public discussion.